From fragile biplanes to jet-powered fighters, Germany entered World War II with one of the most advanced air forces ever assembled. The war in the sky was not decided by one plane. It was decided by roles: fighters, bombers, transports, and experimental machines far ahead of their time. This is the complete story of German aircraft used in World War II, from the first propeller-driven fighters to the world's first combat jets. Bf 109. The Messerschmitt Bf 109 was the backbone of the German fighter force. Fast, agile, and heavily armed, it served from the opening day of the war until Germany's final surrender. Constantly upgraded, the Bf 109 fought in every major theater and became one of the most produced fighters in history. Fw-190. The Focke-Wulf Fw-190 shocked Allied pilots when it first appeared. It was faster, more heavily armed, and more rugged than earlier German fighters. Its wide landing gear made it easier to handle, and its powerful radial engine gave it excellent performance. The Fw-190 excelled as both a fighter and a ground attack aircraft. Bf 110. The Bf 110 was designed as a heavy fighter. With long range and heavy armament, it was intended to escort bombers and destroy enemy aircraft. However, it proved vulnerable against agile fighters. Later in the war, the Bf 110 found new success as a night fighter, equipped with radar to intercept Allied bombers. 262. The Messerschmitt Me-262 changed aviation forever. It was the world's first operational jet fighter. With speeds far beyond any Allied aircraft, it was almost untouchable in the air. However, shortages of fuel, trained pilots, and production capacity limited its impact. The Me-262 arrived too late to change the outcome of the war, but it changed the future of air combat. The 122 The Me-163 was one of the most radical aircraft ever built. Powered by a rocket engine, it could climb faster than any other plane of the war. But it had almost no endurance and was extremely dangerous to fly. It was a technological marvel and a practical nightmare. 229. The Horten Ho-229 was a flying wing jet aircraft. With no conventional fuselage or tail, it was far ahead of its time. Designed for speed and stealth, it hinted at technologies that would not be fully realized for decades. Only prototypes were built. Ju-87 Stuka. The Junkers. Ju-87 Stuka became a symbol of blitzkrieg. Its dive-bombing accuracy made it devastating in the early years of the war. The screaming sirens mounted on its landing gear were designed to terrify enemy troops. As Allied air defenses improved, the slow Stuka became increasingly vulnerable. HS-129. The Henschel HS-129 was a dedicated ground attack aircraft. Heavily armored and armed with powerful cannons, it was designed specifically to destroy tanks. It was difficult to fly, but deadly at low altitude. A-111. The Heinkel A-111 was Germany's primary medium bomber during the early war years. It played a major role in the bombing of Poland, France, and the Battle of Britain. Though increasingly outdated, it remained in service throughout the war. Ju-88. The Junkers. Ju-88 was one of the most versatile aircraft of the war. It served as a bomber, dive bomber, night fighter, reconnaissance aircraft, and torpedo bomber. Its adaptability made it invaluable as Germany's situation worsened. Du-17. The Dornier Du-17 was known as the Flying Pencil due to its slim fuselage. Fast and agile for a bomber, it saw extensive service early in the war. It was eventually replaced by more capable designs. He-177. The Heinkel He-177 was Germany's only heavy bomber to see operational service. Plagued by engine fires and mechanical issues, it never reached its full potential. Despite its problems, it represented Germany's attempt to field a strategic bomber force, FW-200 Condor. The Focke-Wulf Fw was a long-range maritime patrol aircraft. Operating over the Atlantic, it hunted Allied convoys and directed U-boat attacks. For a time, it posed a serious threat to Allied shipping. FW-189. The Focke-Wulf Fw-189 was a reconnaissance aircraft with a distinctive twin-boom design. Excellent visibility and maneuverability made it ideal for battlefield observation. It became one of the most effective reconnaissance aircraft of the war. Chapter 52, the Junkers. Ju-52 was the backbone of German air transport. Slow but reliable, it carried troops, supplies, and paratroopers across Europe. It played a critical role in airborne operations and logistics. Me-323 Gigant. The Me-323 was the largest transport aircraft used operationally during the war. Derived from a glider design, it could carry tanks, vehicles, and heavy cargo. Slow and vulnerable, it required fighter escort and suffered heavy losses. IR-234. The Arado R-234 was the world's first operational jet bomber. Fast and nearly impossible to intercept, it was used primarily for reconnaissance and bombing. Like many advanced German designs, it appeared too late to make a decisive impact. 156. Storch. The Fieseler F-156 Storch was a remarkable liaison aircraft. With extreme short takeoff and landing capability, it could operate from fields, roads, and even clearings. It was used for reconnaissance, medical evacuation, and command transport. Bu-131 and Bu-133. The Booker Bu-131 and Bu-133 were primary training aircraft. They trained thousands of Luftwaffe pilots and remained in service throughout the war. Late war emergency fighters. As Germany faced collapse, simplified aircraft designs were rushed into production. Many were intended for inexperienced pilots and minimal training. Most never reached full operational status. Conclusion. German aircraft in World War II represented both brilliance and limitation. Advanced engineering produced revolutionary designs, from jet fighters to flying wings. But complexity, fuel shortages, and overwhelming Allied production limited their impact. Germany did not lose the air war because its aircraft were inferior. It lost because it could not build enough of them, fuel them, or replace trained pilots fast enough. From the Bf-109 to the Me-262, these aircraft reshaped aviation forever. They defined an era, influenced post-war designs, and changed how wars would be fought in the sky. If you had to choose one German aircraft that truly defined World War II, which would it be? The most advanced, the most reliable, or the one that arrived too late?